There are 4,218 PS2 games, and I'm beating every one of them. I've got to own the game because I'm playing everything on the original hardware, but I've beefed it up with a RetroTink 5X, some component cables, and more to come soon. Can I do this before I die of old age? I hope so. State of Emergency was developed by Viz Entertainment and released in the US February of 2002. Being hailed as another GTA-style game and published by Rockstar, high hopes were had for this game's release. It received varying scores from low to average, holding a Metacritic score of 71 for the PS2 version. Politicians were adverse to the game's depiction of all too real-world events, obviously not happy with violence towards those in similar positions. Can I beat this crowded, brawler-type game? You may not like what I have to say about State of Emergency, but I do believe this game is a mess. And as much as they tried to make it slightly like Grand Theft Auto because it was produced by Rockstar Games, it wasn't actually developed by them, it just isn't anything like it. And instead, it feels like it doesn't really have a good direction, other than its one big defining feature, which is large amounts of characters on screen. Crowds of people running through different locations, lots of police officers attacking you. It seems cool at first, but once you start playing, it just doesn't have anything to hold it there together. The story for this game is that in 2023, the corporation, in quotes, took over everything in the country and is now running things by blackmailing people, controlling things with money, and just generally doing bad things to good people. And so what we need to do is, in 2035, there is a revolution finally happening, and we take control of 5 characters who are heading this revolution and trying to stop the corporation. And that's it. That's pretty much it. Each of the areas of the game, which there are 4 of, you do a bunch of missions. There are a total of 175 missions, and each mission has you doing something small, usually pretty short. Killing people, helping people, escorting people, whatever it is they need you to do. The story doesn't get much more deep than that. I do believe that if you were to take all of the story missions and put them together and see what kind of story came out of it, you might be able to find something with a little bit of semblance. But in the end, it's easier to just say you're just destroying things to stop the corporation, and then you eventually do. There's not much more to it than that. Now, there are 5 characters, each with their own little backstory, which is a lot more than what's on the screen here. There is more in the instruction manual and more online that explains what exactly these characters stand for and why they are against the corporation. I mean, other than the fact that the corporation is destroying the country and being terrible, I would want to stop it too. There are 2 gameplay modes. Chaos mode, which seems a lot more fun, and has you running around the 4 different areas of the game, creating as much chaos as you can, gaining points by destroying things and killing cops, and doing small missions that just pop up on the screen. This one is a much more do-it-your-own-way type of game mode, which sounds like a good time, but I didn't do that one. I played the Revolution mode. Now, Revolution mode is the canon way to finish the game because you do get credits at the end. And honestly, I think it's the worst part of the game. If I had to play Chaos mode, I think it might have been a little bit more fun. This is just not nearly as much fun. So let me talk about exactly what happened. And this journey is going to be slightly different only because there are so many missions and so little of a story that is cohesive that I'm not going to go over each and every mission. In fact, I think I'm just going to talk about each individual area and the problems I had with each area, as well as just, maybe things I liked. When you start the game, you begin in the mall, where you start doing small, odd jobs for the revolution. Now, I picked this character, and I believe some of the characters have some small differences in how they work. I'm not sure what they are, though. I couldn't find anything concrete on it, and the instruction manual does not say anything about that. So, whoever you pick, you might need to pick someone else if you're not liking what's going on. I really don't know if there's that much difference to the characters, but whatever. This game isn't necessarily very complex. You have a couple fighting buttons where you punch and kick. You have a button to pick up objects off the ground and throw objects, and you press the same button to a punch as you do to fire your gun if you pick one up. You run around, you talk to the quest givers, you get the quest, you do the quest, and that's it. There really isn't anything more than that. There's no driving, there's no extra mini games, nothing like that. You just run around, punch and kick, and then go back and get another quest. This first area, the mall, is kind of a tutorial. I wouldn't necessarily call it a tutorial per se, but because it's the first area, it's going to teach you the most about the game that you'll learn in this small section. And honestly, the game makes it easy enough for you to go through in the first couple hours without too much effort. Now, the missions it gives you boil down to killing everyone with a red arrow or double red arrows. Double red arrows are usually your targets, while red arrows are people who are just after you. Once you kill your targets, you generally find that the mission is over. You need to return back to the quest giver to finish the mission though. You can't just finish it right there all the time, so you'll need to return back. The nice thing about returning back is you also get full health from the quest giver, so that's pretty cool. Plus, it sets you up for your next quest, because more than likely than not, you'll find that they will give you another quest. Like I said, there's 175 quests in 4 areas, meaning there's about 60 to 70 quests in each area, so you're going to be picking up quest after quest after quest. So you'll want them to end where they begin. Otherwise, it just takes you forever to get at the next quest. The only thing you are doing is progressing your mission percentage. Up there at the top, you can see 13%. You can see some cool stats, I guess. But as you go along, you'll see that mission percentage goes up by 1 to 2% for each mission. It's very, very long. It takes a long time to get through each area. Now, some missions are very short. Go over here and kill this guy, and then come back to me. Go over here and grab this and come back to me. Go over here and look at this and come back to me. That's about it. Then there are other ones that are slightly longer, but not because they are necessarily longer, but because they are frustrating. There are a few missions that are longer because you have to walk across the map and then walk all the way back across the map. They just aren't that long in general. You don't do a string of crazy things that have a bunch of flavor. It's always escort this guy, or go grab this, or go take this person to a door, or go just make sure this person's safe while they're in a door, or more often than not, kill everyone in sight. There are very few things to pay attention to on the screen itself for your HUD, which is good. I mean, that makes it easy to at least parse what you're looking at. There is your health bar at the top left. At the bottom right, you sometimes have a little ticker tape that tells you some things. And then at the top, you have the arrow pointing you towards your mission, although it is not always very accurate. Sometimes it's hard to tell where you need to go because it is pointing you directly there, but not always. I don't know. It's sometimes hard to tell where it wants you to go. And that's really not that big of an issue. These areas aren't that big, and once you walk around here for 20 minutes, you'll kind of understand where you need to go. So the arrow is really a small factor in how I feel about the game. Now, I want to be clear about something. The footage you're watching, if you are ever confused about what exactly I'm doing, and it looks like I'm doing the same thing in each screen here, it's because I am. I'm almost doing the same exact thing over and over, just killing people, and sometimes doing something else on the side, but it is most often killing people to get your mission done. There are very few missions where you don't kill anyone at all for any reason, and that's fine, I guess. It's just, there's nothing else to the game. It's very boring to me. I don't know why there's so little to do. I think they banked too much on the fact that the big amount of characters that are on the screen is pretty crazy. I mean, it's impressive, honestly, but everything else isn't impressive. I mean, cool, the characters are running around the screen. There's like 50 to 70 people on the screen running around with literal real objects in their hands that you can take from them if they drop them and pick them up and throw them at the cops. But it's just, that's it. They don't do anything else. They just get in your way. And it's not like a fun mechanic. It's just like, okay, we'll get out of my way. And then you get them out of your way. They get shot because they're in the way of the cops you're trying to shoot. Who cares? There's no penalties. I mean, at least in this mode. In Chaos mode, there are. But in this mode, no. Killing people doesn't matter. This mission is slightly different. This one where you have to break the window of a shop. That's not necessarily clear. That's what you have to do. And you have to bring medical supplies back. I mean, I guess that's a little different. You could drop it and fight everyone, or this takes me literal 20 seconds to do. Once I go break the window and get the thing, I bring it back to this guy, throw it at him, break it on his head, and he says, good work. That's it. Mission over. Here's a mission where I'm supposed to escort this guy. Now, when you're escorting someone, the police will aggressively come after that person until you make your first attack against the police officer. Anyone who does not get hit by you will go after that guy and kill him. And yes, they will kill him very quickly. It's very hard. You have to figure out where these cops are spawning during the mission and go hit them before they get to him. Otherwise, they're going to kill him and you can't get away. And this is something that you'll see all around. Like, every time you do something like this, they will swarm these poor people you're supposed to be taking somewhere and just destroy them. And sometimes you have no choice. They will run right past you. They don't give a crap about you. You will find yourself repeating missions over and over and over for very silly reasons, like the officers came over and immediately killed this guy because they all punched him at once and you didn't have a chance to stop them. In this mission here, I must escort these 3 guys into this door, and when they get in there, we cannot let any cops in. If you notice by the footage up here, the cops don't give a crap about me. They go aggressively immediately for the door, and if any of them even steps foot in that building, you fail the mission. You must find a way to wedge yourself in between the door and them and not let them in. That is it. You must then knock them over very slowly because, let me tell you what, if you give them even a pixel, they will find a way to sneak around you. And this mission took me a while literally because I could not stop them from getting in the building. And yeah, you may think to yourself, oh, no, that's easy. I'll do it. No, it's not. You realize how easy it is for one of your punches to take you a step forward and a cop to just sneak right around you. Because like I said, in this mission, they don't care about you even if you hit them, because they are not there to stop those people from walking with you like the last mission where they aggressively go after them until you punch them. This one, they are trying to go for a door. They are not undeterred by anything except going into that door. They don't want to deal with you. They don't care about nothing, man. You can kill their friends right next to them. They just go right to the door because that's all they need to do. So once these guys get in the door, you've got to use your area of attack ability, your triangle ability. You've got to stand in front of the door, wedge yourself in the way, and press triangle to knock everyone down. If you keep doing this, which, by the way, this move is usually just to knock people down. It does very little damage. If you do this, you must do it over and over and over and over until you can finally kill some of them. Like I said, they won't stop until they get in that door. This first level of the mall is really not that bad, but I mean, I don't know, man. After 60 missions of almost the same thing over and over and over, I started to think, man, I can't wait for this game to be done already. It's really not that interesting. I'm not doing anything new. There's nothing fun happening to the point where I'm like, yeah, great, this is awesome. I can't wait to do it again. I never really thought that. In fact, the only level I actually really liked is the very last one. So after you beat them all, you do all the missions, you get sent to the next area, and this is by far the worst area of the game. Things ramp up in this area quite a bit. See, in the mall, you only got pistols, Uzis, and the very occasional shotgun and machine gun, and most often the police didn't carry those weapons like that. And if they did, it was very specifically that mission and no other mission. This one has police officers carrying all the weapons up until this point often. You can pick them up after you beat them up, but my God, can you get close enough to actually do it before they blast your ass apart with these weapons? Probably not. So you need to do a little bit of like hit and run. Find yourself a place to hide, pop out, shoot a couple of them, and then get back behind cover before they kill you. And it's not just that though, don't worry. The missions that they have you do, there are some issues here and there, and I'm going to show you one of those issues. One of the issues you can find yourself in is the fact that they have these weapons. If you have to escort someone ever, they will blow them apart with weapons if you cannot shoot them first. And man, they kill them so quick. Sometimes you will go over and grab them and they will immediately die. Or you'll get knocked down and have no way to stop any of the cops from killing your friend. That's it. It's so quick. You accept the mission, you walk over it, you fail. You accept the mission, you walk over it, you fail. You accept the mission, oh, this time you make it past the first wave of dudes, and then you fail at the next wave. Oh my God. The NPCs just kill your friends too quickly, and they are too aggressive towards them. If the mission gives the police shotguns, you're probably going to have to do the mission over and over again. Now, this next problem is not necessarily specific to this level, it's all over the game, but it's bad here because there are a lot of NPCs in tight areas in a big area. You know what I mean? Like, it's these little alleyways where there's lots of people. Even though the area itself is big, the alley is small, and what happens is you can hit people when they're on the ground. Not everyone who lands on the ground dies. They're still just like hanging out there. If you walk near them and press an attack button, you will hit them on the ground. At first, like, yeah, well, of course, that makes sense, that's helpful because I want to be able to hit them on the ground and kill them. The problem is that in the middle of fighting people standing up, the people who are actually a threat, you can just suddenly find yourself punching and kicking people on the ground in the middle of like fighting someone who's about to kill you. And it's so frustrating. There's no way to differentiate between hitting people on the ground and hitting people standing up. So you just have to hope you don't do that. And I'm going to be honest with you here. It happens so often that I've died like 8 or 9 times in a row to missions that just have too many cops and make me attack the people on the ground. All right, here is the mission that gave me trouble for a weird reason. You must run to this area to start a fight. And when you come back to this area over here, you must rescue someone. However, as I get to the area, shit, they killed our operative. I haven't even gotten to see him yet. That's right, something happens where the enemies are immediately aggressive, and before I can even reach the objective, he dies. There is no way for me to get there faster, and there is no way for me to save him beforehand, because I actually go here before the mission starts and clear out the bad guys in the little cove where they are holding him. If you go and clear them out, you think to yourself, well, now there's no one in there who can hold him, which is sometimes true. However, it doesn't matter because the enemies were so aggressive, they would hunt him down and kill him before I could get there. There was no way for me to physically get there to help him. Okay, here's the little cove where the guy is going to appear after I start the quest. Now, if I kill some of these guys in this area to maybe help weed out the bad guys, you think, yeah, this is it. This has got to be helpful, right? I'm about to go activate the mission. But it is not, like I said. I actually found myself resetting the entire game, turning off the system, turning it back on, and then they finally stopped killing him before I could get there. And even when I did get there, I would sometimes find him already being attacked. And then I would walk him out of the thing with very little health, and the first person I walked around the corner would shoot him immediately. I couldn't even tell. Some people didn't even have the red arrows over their head, and they would shoot him. I have no clue why they would do that. Generally, when someone's attacking you or someone with you, they have a red arrow to indicate where they are, because in a crowd of people, it's really hard to tell where they are. So these guys right here in the black suits just don't have red arrows over their head. I would never have known that they were going to shoot him. How would I have known that they don't have red arrows, like everyone else in every other mission? This is the point where I reset the game. I'm sprinting my ass over to help this guy, and even with the small amount of time it takes me to get over there, they are already in the middle of killing him. I mean, what am I supposed to do? He already can't make it past the first wave of guys. He can't make it past the second wave. I don't know what to do. I'll tell you what, man, there are too many escort missions in this game. The second and third areas have so many escort missions, and they are so easy to die during the escort mission. I mean, look at this. It's just crowds, and I can accidentally kill my friend with a shotgun if I shoot at the police trying to stop him. So it's like, do I drop the shotgun and go over and try and punch them, or do I just try and get to where we're going before my friend and have him kill everyone around there? It's not always clear what you need to do and how you need to do it because the game is full of crowds of people, and the crowds of police officers that spawn sometimes don't take the same path. I don't know what it is that determines their pathing or how things work, but man, it's jarring coming into a mission and having it change just enough where you don't know where they're gonna come from, and then your friend just immediately dies. And it's like, dude, I started this mission 3 seconds ago. I couldn't even get to the dude. What am I supposed to do? The third area of the game looks very similar to the second area, which is kind of annoying, but whatever. This is one that also has way too many escort missions. I already hate escort missions, and I've said this before, there are too many escort missions in games that are will hurt me and break me. And this is one of those ones where I almost didn't want to play State of Emergency anymore. It's just not fun for your mission failure to hinge on a dude who both can't path correctly and who can get killed in a second. It's unforgiving in a way that isn't fun or strategic. And I know some people might argue, hey, you can get better by it's not necessarily getting better when you don't have a lot of choice. If they spawn and I'll shoot one bullet at them and kill them, that's it. You have no way to stop it. There isn't a special way to stop people in that instance. And because they all spawn in different spots and at different times and run at you in different ways, you aren't going to just be able to line them up each time and do something the same way. It just doesn't work like that. And that's why I think the game is a mess, because it's just a constant barrage of dudes running at you and dudes running away from you, and guys you gotta protect, but you can't protect them, and just so many people. It's too much. It's not fun seeing this many people after 3 hours and going, man, they're just in my way. People are just in the way. I can't see where I'm going. It doesn't make it fun. It's just, annoying. The last area that the game offers for us is actually a lot more fun because at this point the revolution is coming to a head, so you get to actually work with a lot of the people that you've saved in the past. They'll come to you in big groups at like a fourth of their health. I'm not really sure why they did that. I guess they determined it was too easy to have all those guys helping you. But I mean, you're a one-man killing machine if you get the right guns, so whatever. And they don't hinge your success on the mission by living. I think as long as you kill everyone, it's fine. And that's the big thing about this last set of missions. There are way more fun types of missions, having you use big explosive weapons and fighting big groups of enemies in a way that only failure happens when you die because you just didn't really choose to fight them in the right way. Hiding behind something, blowing them up from far away, running into the middle of them when they have a flamethrower. But this is the fun part because you get to use the flamethrower and the big machine gun and the rocket launcher and you get to blow stuff up. There are way fewer escort missions. Like I said, having your success hinge on an AI person you escort and having everyone shoot him one time and kill him is no fun. But this one is way less of that. It still takes a long time and is a little bit annoying because I'm just at this point done, but at least the end of the game was sort of fun. At this point, I'm just chugging along, running as fast as I can between missions to find the next one to complete all of this stuff because it is just taking too long. If this game had been about 3 hours shorter and had about 50 less escort missions, and when I say 50 less, I mean 50 less still gives you like 20 or 30 escort missions, dude. Half the missions in this game are escorting people. It's so insane. But if they had done that, this game would have been a lot more fun. Or if the Chaos mode had also been a way to complete the game, get credits, I would have liked that a lot more. Now obviously I'm playing through to get credits so I can beat the game. So sometimes games will have interesting things I miss or game modes that would be more fun, like the Chaos mode here. I think it would have been a lot more fun. And I never played it. I did when I was younger, but I did not here. So I'm going to end the video here and say game number 95 is beaten. We freed the country from the corporation's hold, so we get credits. And it was an interesting game, but man, I did not like it. I just didn't enjoy it. It was too annoying and confusing at times and unfun to like, I don't know, man. I don't know why they went with these types of missions and things to do, because it's just so dull after a while. I mean, seriously, it took hours of just escort missions and losing and dying. So maybe some of you really liked this game. I'm sorry that I don't like it and I found it frustrating, but it's just not that fun of a game for me. So I do appreciate it though for you watching this long. If you watched this long in the video, thank you so much to all the memberships, YouTube, Patreon, and Twitch. Thank you so much. You guys are making these videos absolutely possible. Thank you everyone in the stream who suffered through a lot of the problems I had with the game, as well as saw that this game really isn't like a lot of fun to play through Revolution mode. I recommend playing Chaos because it's kind of fun, but Revolution mode, it just takes too long and doesn't make you feel accomplished at the end. You just feel like I just spent a lot of time doing crap. So please, if you play this game, play the Chaos mode. It will be a lot more fun. It's a lot more your pace. So thank you everyone for watching. I appreciate it. I'll be back with video 97 soon. Later.